We are going back to the 19th century with this dish. You've heard of Kung Pao chicken, I'm sure. Today we're gonna spice it up a little bit and make a Kung Pao shrimp. Thank you for joining me today here at Annie's Smoking Pot. I, of course, am Annie, and this is my tiny kitchen. Today we are making a dish that originated in China by a gentleman. I'm gonna butcher his name. His name was Ding Bechuan. I'm really sorry I'm butchering your name. His first name was Ding. He's probably dead, so I don't think he cares. So this is originally made with chicken, but we are gonna mix it up a bit with something a little different. We're gonna use a different type of protein, but right now we've got some jalapeno peppers, and I'm just slicing them up into thin little slices. That's it. Just tiny little slices. We're gonna go ahead and get our wok going. Now the ticket with this, I always tell you, low to medium heat when we're cooking, but this one here, for this first step, you wanna get this screaming hot, so basically when we start to see a little bit of steam, or we might see some smoke, that's when we're gonna start the cooking process. So while that's working its way up, we also have some onion that we're gonna be putting into this dish. And again, it's just gonna be nice, bite-sized little, thin little slices, just like that. That's what you want right there. Break them up. It is your preference, of course. You can do this any way you like. So if you want chunks, do chunks. You want nice little dices, do nice little dices. It's okay. You can do it however you want. That's the joy of cooking, is you can take ingredients and do whatever you want. There is no wrong or right way when it comes to cooking, unless you're baking. Baking's a little more precise, which is why I don't tend to bake. Okay, I can hear our pan is really nice and hot. So we're gonna stop doing that, and we're moving back to our peppers. We're gonna add some oil to our pan. Just a neutral oil is what you want. To that pan, we are adding some cashews. And we're gonna add our jalapeno peppers. Ooh, hear that sizzle. Give that a quick stir. All right, we're gonna move on to our pepper. Cut off the top of your pepper, and we wanna cut out the center as well, because you don't want any of that ribbing and those seeds. And these we're gonna just cut up into nice little slivers like that. Watch your fingers. I think that's enough. I don't think I want to use the rest of this. Like I said, it's your call, however you want to do it. All right, to this, we have got some garlic, and I am just using minced garlic. You can use a whole garlic clove if you'd like. If you do, you're going to use about 3 garlic cloves. And this, you know the rule with garlic. When you smell it, it's good to go. So now we're going to add our shrimp. That's the protein that I didn't tell you about. Just some nice, peeled, deveined, deturted shrimps. And these are only gonna take about a minute or two. We wanna take them till they're almost done, where they get a little pink and a little translucent. I don't know if it's the onion getting me or that jalapeno. Whew, we haven't had the best of luck lately picking out jalapenos. We keep seeming to buy these jalapenos that have no heat to them. This one definitely has heat. And you wanna keep moving them around because you don't want your nuts to burn. Nobody likes burned nuts, nobody. All about movement with this dish. Goodness, this is going to be a really fantastic dish. What you can do right now also is hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Doesn't cost you anything to do it, but you'll get all my gratitude if you do. Even if you don't and you just watch my videos, that's fine too. All right, you can see how they're starting to turn pink, so we're gonna keep going. We're gonna add our onions and our peppers now. We're only gonna let this go for about a minute to 2 minutes because we want those peppers to still have a little bit of bite to them. You don't wanna take them soft, but you do want the onions to get a little translucent. I love recipes like this. I don't know about you, but I love a recipe that starts from something so basic, and then every time you add another ingredient to it, it builds that flavor, and the end result is always absolutely amazing. I'm gonna let that do its thing for just a minute while we make up our slurry that we're gonna need in just a little bit. So I wanna have it ready. It's just some cornstarch and some water. That's it. That way we get all the remnants of cornstarch. I'm just gonna stir that up just to dissolve the cornstarch. This is gonna help thicken our sauce up at the end, just like that. So we're gonna go ahead and move that aside because we don't need it yet. Those onions are looking great. See how those look right there? Can you see those? That is exactly what you want. Just a little bit of color on them, a little translucency. Now we're going to add some more ingredients. We have got some oyster sauce. We're going to go ahead and dribble that in. Dribble? Nah, we're just dumping. And we've got some chili paste and a little cayenne pepper. And give that a stir. Oh my gosh. I could stop right now and be happy, but I'm not gonna because there's more. Let that simmer for just a minute. Get our cutting board back. We've got some green onions that we're gonna go ahead and chop up next. I don't want this big bulb part, so I'm gonna get rid of that. And this I'm just gonna chop up into just little pieces. You can get all fancy if you want and do them at an angle. You can cut them in half if you want smaller pieces, but nah, I kind of like it just like this. And I'm not going to use all of the greens, just a little bit. Also got some fresh parsley for after the fact. And this is just more for a garnish than anything, so you don't need a lot of it, just enough to make your dish look pretty. This is ready for the next step. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add that slurry that I talked about. This is just going to help just kind of thicken it up just a little bit. There's not a lot of sauce in there, so there's not a lot to thicken up, but it's just going to add a little bit more to it. And we're going to add in our green onions. The green onions are not something that we want to cook out. The green onions we're going to keep most of the bite to them. At this stage, we're going to turn off our heat and we're going to add in some white pepper and a splash of sesame oil. Not a lot. Sesame oil is one that can really take over a dish. And that's it. That is Kung Pao Shrimp. How easy was that? And one pan. I didn't even think about that. This is a one-pan dish. I love one-pan dishes. I'm going to go ahead and get a plate and get this plated up for you. We'll see how it looks. I'm left-handed. Oh my gosh. That is absolutely glorious. Glorious, I tell you, glorious. Beautiful shrimps, the beautiful peppers, the onion, the jalapeno. I don't know what else to say, but delish. The cashew nuts. You could use peanuts too if you'd want it, but I like cashews and I'm allergic to peanuts. And there we have it. Little parsley to make it pretty, just like that. Kung Pao Shrimp. Time for a bite. Let's get a pepper. Oh, look at me, I'm using chopsticks. Oh my gosh. It's not gonna peel the skin off my face, but it's definitely got some heat behind it, but a good heat. Like there's flavor to it. It's not just, when you get some food that's just so hot, you can't even enjoy it. There is so much flavor in this dish. You have to try it. I think you're gonna love it. But you know what? Until next time, as always, thank you so much for joining me today. Bye. Dude.